This is an aluminum visor for an old pickup truck. Where are you going to find one of these anymore? You're not going to be able to get one. So we're going to do what we can to try to straighten this out so that it'll at least look presentable on the truck when it goes back on. This is what it was before I sanded it. Now I'm sanding it down, and I'm going to show you how to coat it, how to mix the Bondo, and how to coat this. Get yourself some what they call Bondo sheets. You can buy this at any automotive repair store that sells paint. They do have these. When you're done with the top layer, you pull it off, throw it away, you got another sheet underneath. You dig yourself out some Bondo. That looks like quite a bit, but it's a fairly large area. Keep in mind that this Bondo has been sitting on a radiator heater, so it is warm. When you go to add a hardener on there, you'll have to play with it temperature-wise a little bit. If you go putting too much hardener in there, you're not going to be able to spread it. It's going to harden before you even get it on this piece. Just a little bit does it. You don't need that much, especially the way this thing is warm, and you'll see when I go to mix it, you mix it up, make sure it is thoroughly mixed. So I come across, swipe it. You're going to sand a lot of this off of there, so I'm going to come across here, nice and easy. Again, it might look like a mess, but you are going to sand a lot of this off. Don't worry about putting on too much, because you're going to sand it down. There's no such thing as too much. You can put it on there, and you're going to sand a lot of it down. It looks like I'm putting a lot on. I can tell right now this stuff is getting slow. It's getting hard to spread, so it's starting to set up already. This stuff is flammable when it is mixed like this. You see there's a big dent right there. So I'll put some right there. I'm running out of material. And there you go. When it hardens up, I'll sand it down. I'll put a little bit more on the edges, get it to where I want. Alright, this is hardened up now. It really didn't take that long because being on that little heater, a couple things I want to point out. I'm not wearing a mask because I want to be able to talk. You really should be wearing some kind of mask. These are a little bit of overkill for Bondo dust. You can wear a dust mask, but you can use these. These are more painting masks for priming and painting. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down with the 80 grit on a DA first to cut the skim coat off of it. And then I'll go to block this down. Now there are a lot of high quality blocks out there. These are really nice blocks. They come in different shapes and sizes. And you have long ones for long areas. You can come across like this with this one. Smaller ones, they have round ones, they have whatever. They come as a whole kit if you want to buy a kit. Again, grit in 80, 180, then you have 36. You have the smaller the number, the more grit, the more cutting is on there. The 36, they have it. I don't really use it. It's too aggressive. You can go to 80. Then you can go down to 180, and you can block it with the 180. I like to really finish it down once I'm finally down with 320, which is pretty fine, and it'll show you all your bad areas. 80 grit. And if you notice, when I'm using this DA, I'm just holding it with the palm of my hand, and I'm letting it do the work. Let it pull it across the top. On the contours, on the curves, go with the curve. Just to take your DA, and you just go with the curve. Sand's pretty easy, really nice and smooth, but you can see I have the highs and the lows showing up. I want to show you this like this. You can see some of the low areas, some of the high areas. A lot of guys, they put it on, sand it all off. Just let it tell you what it needs. Sand over it nice and smooth with the DA, nice and level, and it'll tell you what it's going to need. You're going to waste your time because you'll cut it all off, put it back on. Cut it all off, you'll fight yourself. Don't fight yourself. This is 80 grit, cuts it down. You can see I still got to sand this. But what I'll do is I'll put a coat over this, sand it down, and I think it'll be ready for the top coat, which is like the final glaze coat. Stick yourself a nice piece of 80 grit on there. Just block this nice and smooth, nice and straight. Don't use the edge. It comes nice and flat across the top. Now as you can see, it's showing me the highs and the lows with the block. It will show you highs and lows. And I still got plenty to cut down. Do the curve, you go with the curve. Don't fight it, just go with the curve, nice and easy. And that feels smooth. Blow it up. I see some areas show up. Get those blown out. Don't want pinholes. Pinholes are little tiny spots, low areas. You want to make sure you clean those areas out before you put the top coat on. Now, this is what they call glazing putty, top coat, whatever you want to call it. What it does, it puts a really nice fine finish on this when you're done sanding it. Fills in the smaller areas, the pinholes, any little imperfections. I like finishing it down to 180 or 320 and coming across with a primer. The primer will soak in. Soak into your 80 grit scratches, anything else that you have that's on there, and you come back and you sand it and there's no problem. It doesn't take a lot of hardener for this. And I want to stress the fact that when you use a Bondo or a top coat, spend the money for the higher quality Bondo. If you get a $5 can of Bondo, it's a $5 can of stuff that you're not going to want to sand. The higher quality material you use will show up in the paint job, and that's what it's all about. Is the end result. Because if you use a $5 to $10 can of Bondo, it's going to look like a $5 to $10 paint job. So this is a really good top coat that I use. Final glaze, putty, whatever you want to use. Mix it up real well. You got to be fairly quick with this. Doesn't take much. Come across. There's your swipe. There's your swipe. And this panel is warm, so this stuff is really flowing out. What this does is fills in the 80 grit scratches, fills in any little imperfections and low areas that I might have. And as you can see, it's real easy to work with. So once it starts hardening up, don't mess with it anymore. You can see it's still a little workable, but I can still get it. Go with the curve. This you can use also. This is like a black, I call it a guide coat. It's a black powder. You can get it in any auto parts store. You can come across and it'll show you where you're at sanding wise. Because sometimes you almost get like snow blind in a big area like this. Now I just went lightly over with this guide coat. It's black. It sands off real nice. It'll tell you right where you're at. Come across nice and flat with the block. Blow it off a little bit. Well, that's what it's going to look like. You can see I put the guide coat, it's all gone. It's sanded down with the 150 or 180, whatever you want to use. There's a before, and it's looking smoother. Nice coat of primer on there and sand it down, and it'll look good. If you have any questions, subscribe, email me, whatever you want to do. Put it on there. I'll make a video of it if I can, and I'll try to walk you through any process, any questions that you have.